Hello, my name is Davin, and I am the level designer here at Countertempo Studios. Recently, we've begun the process of blocking out our designs for the first level of Penrose, the prison. But before we get to that, let's look at how we got here. So out of the nature of this process, when it came to designing the layout for the prison, I did 4 things: research, planning, creation, and iteration. When I started the research phase, the first thing I did was look at examples of what others had done. Whether it be games that had stealth as a mechanic or real-life examples of prisons, I gathered them as references. I looked at as many examples as possible and looked for broader trends in what I liked, such as what offered explorability, convenience, or atmosphere, or what just looked plain cool. An important aspect of this process is making sure to discern what about examples make them worth looking to. This is to avoid just copying what they did and instead to incorporate ideas in a way unique to what you're trying to achieve. As an example for the prison, I noticed a trend where in a level there would be a large room placed generally near the center of a building that will then branch out to different areas. Since this makes getting to each part of the building take a similar amount of time, I incorporated this aspect in our own map. After collecting examples and applying those concepts, I moved on to sketching. For sketching, I started by making a top-down view of the floor plan, akin to what you could see on a map. I wrote down a list of rooms that I needed to incorporate, like the cafeteria or the hub. I used paper for this part. Nothing needs to be perfect here, and it is much easier to make changes this way. No need to worry about whether lines are straight either. I then moved on to remaking the sketch in an architecture software, with similar proportions to what I had on paper. This was so that I could get dimensions. I ended up using SmartDraw for this process, but there are many great programs for this. With the proportions set, I then moved on to working in Unity. In Unity, I went about blocking the floor with the help of 2 packages, ProBuilder and ProGrids. With those 2 packages, it is possible to create geometric objects and edit them as well. I copied the dimensions of the rooms one by one, and from there, it was just grunt work. I then started to implement the actual assets, such as the walls, the floor tiles, the prison bars, and the windows, into the room. When implementing the parts of the room outside of just the floor, what helped me the most was definitely the examples I gathered earlier. Because of them, I could go about the room, adding all the most necessary aspects with a greater structure in mind. One thing that is definitely a necessary takeaway from the process of making the prison is that any big problem can be managed if you break it into something small. Through chunking the problem down into separate processes, the undertaking of designing the prison became much more manageable. Thank you so much for watching. We'll try to keep improving as we go, so if you have any feedback, leave it in the comments. See you next time.